papers ready. The papers to be heard.
This is the prayer that I make for you. In the name of the Holy Spirit of God. So be it. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Hello, hello. We're live again.
Hello out there.
This is Co-Pastor Sawyer and Pastor Clifton Sawyer. We're here for another Heart to Heart tonight. And good to see you guys here, Kim, Dion, your paper's rattling.
Yeah.
Deb and Tanya, Tangi, and
Good to have
CJ,
you guys.
and my favorite nephew, and Michelle, my Belle, and my sissy, and my brother-in-law. It's good to have you guys here. You're early birds tonight. That's good. Facebook has been having some technical issues, so we're prayerfully going to do this live tonight. And let us know if you have any problems seeing us or hearing us tonight. And
Yeah, give us the ups if you can let us know that you can hear us okay and
just give us a yes and let us know you hear us good and
can
see us well.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Robert Dura.
Good to have
I
you with us,
missed you on
Robert.
the Zoom unless you were there and I didn't know it. Anyway, it is another great time to be with you all.
Hope you guys had a good day so far.
Ours has been kind of busy.
Yeah,
but
we've been busy.
It's a good busy.
Okay.
And Kim says she doesn't want to miss a thing.
No, I got something special for you just for a second here in a
If
minute.
you see us looking to the side and not at the camera, it's because we're watching your comments. We love the interaction with you guys. Sunday was remarkable. Your comments were so fantastic. In fact, they were better than mine and Pastor's.
Yeah.
We were like,
CJ,
we were
good to see you.
awestruck to have all of the great comments that you made, profound statements that you made because you were having enlightenment experiences, and we're so grateful for that. And they said
Okay.
we're sounding good.
Yeah, Robert,
Okay.
I see you. Talking about the hospital, I see you there.
You were at the hospital. Well, I'll have to give you a buzz to see what was going on, okay?
Sounding great, thank you. Yes, okay.
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 So, I want to read this from, like I did Sunday, and we'll quickly center in. This is our prayer meditation, and I want you to do this. And it's coming from the Course in Miracles, and it's simply be still. I know you've had a lot of things going on today, so this is a great time to just be still. Make sure everything else that could distract you is turned off or close out and center in. Lay aside all thoughts of what you are and what God is. All concepts you've learned about the world. All of the images you hold of yourself. Empty your mind of everything it thinks is either true or false, good or bad. Every thought that it judges worthy, and all of the ideas you're ashamed of. Hold on to nothing. Do not bring with you one thought of the past that has taught, nor one belief you ever learned before from anything. Forget this world. Forget this course. Forget this live stream. And come with holy empty hands unto your God. That's it. So we can start fresh from the oven.
Okay. I'm going to point out something to you in the area of the geographical location, the actual tangible physical location of God, the tangible touch of God. And I said that you are the hand of God, the touch of God in your eternal, infinite essence.
Yes.
The core of your being, right where you are now, is where you locate God. Now, God has been nowhere else. I mean, I'm saying that He's universal, omnipotent. You have to hang on. If you need to get up and go get a piece of paper and write down the word infinite, eternal, omnipotent, omnipresent, and keep that with you and meditate on it so that you won't slip in and out of a joint with where God is located, because you need to keep up with these words and the definition of them so that your filtering system, which is your ego mind, the brain, the mind, won't slip you out of joint.
Yes.
In your awareness going in and out of its identity. You are the awareness of thoughts. You are the awareness of long-term and short-term memory. You are the awareness of your body movement. You are aware of your pulse. You are aware of your knee. You are awareness. And I'm saying this to get you to understand that you have to practice paying attention to awareness, and then the attention and awareness works together. But when I decided to get serious and accept the taste of God, you have to have a desire and a taste to go into what we're talking about. And we're not telling you how, we're pointing you to what is, and you'll have to apply this.
And I will say this too, Pastor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That you don't have to have a taste or a desire for God to go into what we're talking about today, what we've been talking about. You simply have to want to be free from your own personal suffering.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
If you desire to be free from your personal suffering, then this is what you need to hear.
Mm-hmm. And the suffering, the suffering of humanity, if you're going to use that word humanity, is the separation from God, and that's been the curse of the law and the curse of all humanity. The belief. And in the 15th chapter of John, the 16th verses, Jesus made a statement to the disciples, or even in prayer, he said, ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and ordained you that ye should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, and that whatsoever ye shall ask the Father in my name, he may give it you. Yes. Now, you have to understand when we say ask the Father in my name, what Jesus is saying is that the name that was given to you in this dimension of physical birth is the name that is going to be fixed. Let me see if I can say it another way. The name that was given to you by your physical parents is an inclusive name in the name of Jesus. In other words, let's just say your name, say my name is Clifton Sawyer. What happened with the co-identity in Galatians 2:20, let's just say God got in the kitchen and took my name and your name and put it all in a batter and mixed it all up together and say Clifton Christ or Sharon Christ, or Jill Christ, or Brenda Christ, or Sandra Christ.
And that's what we have to accept about ourselves.
And if you want to, you can put Jesus Harrison, or Jesus Harp, or Jesus Snipes, Jesus Ortez, and you can put it like that. But
so it's so intermingled.
Intermingled. But he said, "I have chosen." He said, I chose you. Now, when he said, now listen, understand this. Here's the turnaround in this chosen thing. God chooses that he is. God does not choose anything that is not outside of that. He doesn't choose anything outside of himself.
Is anything outside of himself?
There's nothing outside of him. Now, you have to settle these issues before your mind get to it. If your mind don't want to accept it, you got to use the bypass system to get past it, because the mind is what is that is at enmity against what I'm saying. Don't try to debate with it.
It will resist it.
It'll resist it. Now,
and that's normal.
over here in John 14, Jesus was talking to the disciples, and he said some more here. He said when he talking to about letting your heart not be troubled in the 14th chapter, and down into the right at the 8th through the 9th verse, Philip saith unto him, Lord, show us the Father, that it suffice of us. And Jesus saith unto him, have I been so long time with you? When he said time, in the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever you call time, distance, time from 4 to 5, or 7 to 8, have I been so long time with you, and yet thou hast not known me? Philip, he that hath seen me, seen me. If you were standing there, or like you looking at me, or like I was standing in front of you, I would see Brenda, I would see Sharon, I would see Sawyer. But he's saying, look past your earthly name, and you would see God, or you would see more than just God in me, more than just Holy Ghost in me. Yes. He's saying, take it up another notch. Like Emerald Lagasse and Cooking said, kick it up another notch. Look and see past Jesus and see me. He said, the Father is standing right here. He said, have I not, he said, yet hast thou not known me, Philip? He that hath seen me hath seen the Father. And how sayest thou, thou then show us the Father? Believest thou not that I am in the Father, and the Father in me? The words that I speak, and he said words. He was not trying to sound, when he spoke to them, he was not trying to sound different. He was not trying to fix his voice to sound like thunder. He was not trying to fix his voice to sound like scripture. He was not trying to fix his voice to sound like a quotation. He was not trying to fix his voice to sound like a verse and a scripture out of a quotation in the King James Version.
He wasn't trying to be profound.
He was no profoundness.
He wasn't paying a compliment.
It was no compliment. He said, the words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself, but the Father that dwelleth in me. He didn't say, this is the Father speaking. Then he didn't stop and say, this is not me talking, this is God talking. He didn't say that. Right. He was just saying, and if he did say it, he said, the word that I speak, it is the Father. He let them know, but he didn't go around telling, the Lord just told me to tell you. He was speaking in first person. Yes. That's first person, second person, third person, fourth person, fifth, all the way up to the ninth and 10th person. But he was in first person, and he was, and you would have had to have an ear. He that have an ear, let him hear. You would have had to have an ear to hear what he was saying. And this is called real, true discernment. When you're talking to, like you hear me now, you need to be able to separate my voice from who's doing the talking, but at the same time, not moving in a state of judgment that it's okay. In judgment. Now he said this, have I not been so long with you, and yet thou hast not known me? Philip asked the question, Lord, show us the Father. All right, here's the Father. Over here in Matthew's, I'll turn again, I'm just using this as a reference to you. Matthew's 26 and 53. Well, let's start at 52nd verse.
You're sliding out of the picture.
Okay, 52nd verse. The 51st verse said, behold, one of them which were with Jesus stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. Okay. And then said Jesus unto him, put up again thy sword into his place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. Now watch what he's going to say in the 53rd verse. Thinkest thou not that I cannot now pray? When he said pray, he didn't say, he wasn't talking about dropping on his knees. He really didn't say, Father, get him. He didn't have to do that. All he had to do was use recognition of who was in him, with him, as him, in union with the Father. All he had to do was switch it, hit that switch, awareness, consciousness. And all he did, he said, I could pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legion of angels. And these angels wasn't way up in the sky.
Right.
standing way off in the stratosphere somewhere. They was right there in that dimension where they were.
Hold up for a second. Michelle they've already started. So when he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do, Jesus was speaking about himself.
Yes, he was telling himself, forgive them. Now, here's what he was saying.
He was cleaning the filter.
Yeah, he's cleaning the filter. He was saying to himself in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking to the self in the identity of those people that were standing in front of him at the cross. My Lord speaking unto my Lord. Now, listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying to you guys is this. The key to the power of God is recognition,
Yes,
awareness,
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
bypassing the filter system
Mm-hmm.
that put that veil through thinking and awareness that you and God are sinners.
You and God are sinners.
Yeah, you see when your head believes that you and God are separated, it makes you and God look like y'all are separated from each other.
Yeah.
And that's not true.
Right.
There's no separation. So what you're doing in your head is pushing over on your God identity an untruth.
A lie.
A lie. And that's what the church and society has done all these eons and eons and eons of evolution.
Yeah. Now you sound like you're racing, so I want you to take a
Yeah,
breath.
I understand.
Take a breath
I'm
fast.
excited about
He's
this.
excited. I want him to take a breath because he sounds like he's just running at 100,000 miles an hour. And I hear you. And what you're saying is that we have lived our lives under the belief of separation so long that it's caused us to behave or react or respond out of that belief.
You have to be willing to let go of the conditioned identity filters.
Yeah, the junk on the filters.
Yeah.
Yeah, the junk on the filter.
Now, once you
Which is our life experiences.
Yeah,
They're all
yeah.
all stuck on that filter. And as I said Sunday, it's not trying to see through the filter that causes your suffering, but your suffering comes from looking at what's on the filter.
Yeah.
Looking at your life experiences. And the suffering that we're trying to be free from, you can be free from it if you can transcend looking and placing your attention on those things that your life experience is at this moment.
When Jesus said in the 12th verse over in 14 John, he said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, he shall do, and also greater works than he. Do you know, I'm going to take you I'm going to travel you back in time, which is no distance.
Okay.
Do you know that everything that Jesus did 2,020 years ago, you and I, if I say individuality, you and I in union with God in oneness was right there inside of him,
yes.
with him, as him, doing the miracles. So Jesus was doing what he was doing, and you were doing it too. So when you come up to this time,
and we were all pure essence. We
See,
weren't bodies necessarily.
that's right. Now
We weren't minds necessarily.
We want to go this way.
Just essence.
Yeah, we want to go this way, and the reason why we want to go this way is that I'm gonna just bare my soul to you, honey. I just got tired of looking for God,
Yes.
waiting on God.
Now let me ask you a question, because I know, and you can respond to it or not. But knowing that you are no longer separated from God, you're not even having that belief, not that you're no longer, because you never were, but when you discover that there never was a separation between you and God, does that eliminate all of your personal challenges and personal suffering?
No.
Okay.
No.
So how do we how do we go through our personal struggles, knowing this?
Yeah,
Knowing this.
nothing changed, but there is a heightened awareness now of where it's coming from.
Yeah.
And we come to find out that a lot of the stuff that we are going through it is something going through it, but it's also something that's aware of another part of us that's only observing it.
And I've learned this too. I don't try to be spiritual when I'm going through a challenge or a crisis. I realize that that crisis or that challenge or even a catastrophe has been set up to expose the strength of my human spirit. Everything, this whole thing we're into now as Americans, as the world globally, this is designed to expose the strength of your spirit, and it also will expose the weakness of your human ego.
Before we projected ourselves here, supposedly leaving heaven, coming to earth in this project, we set up in our infinite mind these obstacle courses.
Yes, sir.
And we designed in our infinite identity of eternalness, not space and time. Time and space is an illusion. We set this up so that when we got here, we could play the God game of being us.
Yes.
We wanted to be us. And you know what I like about this thing? What I like about
In other
this.
words, we wanted to be what we are now.
Yeah, we wanted to be this. It's no such thing as you hear your.
I want to be different.
Yeah, hear your mind say, "I wish I never was born. I wish I never would come in.
I wish I never was in that born to that family.
Yeah.
Or
Look.
wish I never had that relationship.
Oh, I wish I wasn't in this family.
Wish I wasn't in this relationship.
When you, oh God, it is so important that, like we always say, I want to get my black or white heritage, or I want to get my family heirlooms. I want to find
ancestry.
Ancestry.
And I mean, it's fun.
That's okay.
It's fun.
But you're not going any further than just the physical senses.
Exactly.
We came in this world,
and that's finding your physical origin of your body.
Yeah.
Right?
The consciousness got trapped into believing that it was only mind and physical senses. Now, we are. You are hearing this tonight, and you've heard us for many days, many months, years. Some of you, you're hearing this because you set it up to come here for us to talk to you about re-establishing your ancient Melchizedek order memory.
Yes.
You wanted to hear this.
And restoring the memory of who you are.
Yes, you
who
wanted.
you are as a son and a daughter of God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look. When I was talking to my wife here, when we were little, we were in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, we didn't know each other.
We didn't know it. I had seen her when we were little. She went through a field where my goat was tied out in the field, and he used to chase her and her brother. I passed her many times going down to my great aunt's house, and I remember she used to go to the store in the neighborhood. We were 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old.
Some of you guys have heard this story over and over.
Yeah, you heard it. But at the same time, my point is, then when we got up to a certain age, it was set up for us to run into each other again through her cousin, and here we are together again. That thing just blew my mind.
Because her set of friends were your set of friends, and they all met. That's how we met again.
God, it is absolutely. When you say the will of God, it was the will of us in our infinite mind to come to earth. And I tell people all the time, when I see them, and y'all heard me say it in my classes and services, I am so glad that to have you to come to earth again, and we meet again in this dimension. I love to talk this ancient. I love to talk this mystical stuff because it's not mystical. It's really it is a truth that is so it's so it's so The God self is the real self and does not talk to itself like it is God. It just talk about normal things like it was this all along. Now listen to this. Okay. Pretty soon, as you go into this, and I would say it like this, practice, you'll start walking up to people and you'll recognize God walking up to himself. Now listen, this has nothing to do with them being saved or not, knowing Jesus or not. The rose is very much aware of another rose that faces it.
What I've noticed, Pastor, is this, and not to say that anything that we're saying or what you have said is incorrect, but when we make the quantum leap, as we do often in these sessions, and we tell us and them who we are, and acting as alarm clocks and refresher courses for them to come back to themselves. There are some who still struggle personally, and this does not resonate with them because they still want to know how to get out of their personal struggles. But I want to say this. I said all of that to say this, that when you had your initial awakening, your initial enlightenment that took you to a place where the mind just kind of went mute, or the mind just got quiet, if it wasn't but for a second, that was a moment of enlightenment. That was a moment of awakening. But after that, there is a coming back down to earth, in the sense of the personal challenges and struggles will still come before you. You'll still face them. Then there's where the filter cleaning comes in, where there's a progressive letting go and a progressive forgiveness of everything that comes into your life. Even though you've had the initial awakening, that you cannot live on that bliss forever. That bliss is not to be desired in the sense of, I'm going for that because I just want to have this blissful state. You may never have that for the endurance of your lifetime, but you can transcend the personal struggle and still walk in your knowing, not your feeling.
I hope you guys out there can hear me. Hear us here. Or you let us know if you're having problems with
They're not having any
us. Okay,
problems.
I see somebody here saying something about no, but
No,
anyway.
they're not having any
But
problems.
I want you guys to understand that this is really a fact. You get over it. What we're talking about, you don't have to believe this, because
Right.
we're speaking beyond belief.
Right.
Faith as a substance. Once faith reveals itself as the object or the fact, you don't have to believe it anymore, because it's right there with you.
One of the reasons I said what I said just now, Pastor, if you'll give me a minute to just go through this, what happens to us when we have an enlightenment spirit experience, or when we have an enlightened experience and we still face our personal struggles? We go through something that I read out of this book, and I'm going to recommend this book to you guys. It's by Dr. David Hawkins. It's called Letting Go. This might be backwards on your screen, but this is Letting Go, Dr. David Hawkins. And this is just in the intro. But he says, when we have an awakening, we have come to the place also when we get upset, we go to the doctor, we go to a psychiatrist, an analyst, a social worker, astrologer, or we'll take up religion, we'll go into philosophy. We will go into different kinds of training. We'll tap ourselves with EFT. We'll get our chakras balanced. We'll try reflexology. We'll go for acupuncture. We'll do iridology. We'll get healed with lights and crystals. We'll meditate, chant, drink green tea, try the Pentecostals, breathe in fire, speak in tongues, try learn NLP, work on visualization, study psychology, join a Jungian group, try psychedelics, get psychic reading, jog, jazzercise. You could go on and on. Have colonics, get into nutrition, and all of those things are good. But when we're looking for getting out of our personal struggles, these are some of the things we go into. Singing tribal chants, reliving past lives, trying hypnotic regression, all kinds of things. Punching pillows, primal screaming, all kinds of things. We go checking out shamanism, and there's nothing wrong with those things. But we go into those things to try to get rid of the personal struggle, and it still doesn't.
That's right.
Because we have to have this realization.
That's right. When I remember back when Jesus appeared to us years ago, I asked the question, why does he keep doing things when he appears to me or to us that I've been doing? He appeared to me doing things that I've been doing. I said, why is he marking me? Keep imitating me.
That's what you
I
thought.
was thinking that we're supposed to imitate Christ, but the Lord was imitating me.
Yeah.
Every time I raised my hand, he'd raise his.
That was another imparted lesson. wasn't it?
Yeah, and it took years for me. The reason why it took so long is my mind, the filtering system, some of the stuff was stuck in there. Ain't no way God can be me. Ain't no way in the world. Now, I know I can't be him because I got too many things wrong with me. I need some things. I got too many things that need. I'm under this idea. Jesus is holy and clean and sanctified, and
And I'm
he's
none of
God,
that, and I'm
and
none
I
of
ain't
that.
nowhere close to that.
I'm none of that, but when I tried to, when I fast and I pray for a long
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
or I study my Bible until I can quote it verbatim,
Mm-hmm.
word for word, up from front to back, when I've gotten to the place where I can minister to people and they just fall out and they say, oh, I'm healed, I'm blessed, I'm delivered, whatever. Then we think we have measured up enough.
Had to get demons cast out, devils cast out,
Yeah.
15 devils
Yeah.
cast out, 150,
We think
11,000.
we've measured up enough.
And it didn't hold, the bucket didn't hold no water because it had a hole in it.
So it's God waking up from being a mortal being.
Yep.
That's
Well,
what's happening with us.
I had another perspective at the cross. I looked at the cross, and when I saw Jesus and us together, I was no longer standing at the foot of the cross. But then I looked again, and I saw me at the foot, up on the cross at the same time. I saw a universal, what they call, remote viewing.
Yeah.
I saw me and Jesus together with all of us, and look at this. I saw Satan and all the demons up on the cross at the same time. Everybody in the universe was on the cross. I knew then that there was no more me, but the me that was thinking it was a me was an illusion.
Yes.
So I had to come to the crossroads and accept the fact that Jesus did not wait for all of us to agree by fasting and praying and coming to a certain cleansing in our own strength to determine that we were ready to identify with him. He took us all on and pinned everything at the cross at his discretion.
Yes, sir.
That set me free then. That didn't mean because I was a monkey, I had to show my tail. I just went on and accepted it. This is the key. It is a grace. It is a grace of labor.
I want to read some of the comments,
Okay.
if you don't
All
mind.
right, go ahead.
Pastor.
She's going to read some of the comments. Go ahead.
Michelle says, this is all inspiring and fascinating. Thank you, Michelle. Thursday and Sunday are the most spiritually awakened 2 hours of my week, and I love your enthusiasm. It sounds like a commercial. It's so piercing. The truth will set you free from the human form and body identity. Thank you so much, sweetheart. And then I want to read Pearl's as well. Pearl says, you can't get out of the person as the person. And I think that's the trick of the mind, to keep us thinking we can by doing
That's
something.
right. It's finished. That's right.
Yes.
Okay, got some more?
That was it.
Okay. The truth will set you free.
I like what Pearl said, because we often try so hard to be the pure self. You can't try to be the pure self and be the pure self.
The thing of it is, Ms. Pearl, and you know it too, we have never been
Anything other than
freedom. Freedom is who we are. Remember I said last time we was on the class, you are the touch of God. What? God touched me? No, you are the touch. When God touched you, you became it.
It was kind of like I heard someone say, they felt or experienced the love of God when they were being loving, when they were acting out on someone else in love. When they were loving someone else, they were experiencing the love of God.
Forgiveness is what you are, who you are, and the way you are. All you have to do is just act like it. If you don't want to act like it, don't feel like it.
You don't have to act like it either.
You really don't. It's not a work. It is something that's it's so much I want to say that I can't find words.
Well, go ahead and find some words.
But it is called freedom to be.
Gosh, that's a good one. We often put doing before being. We'll try to do things to be what we already are, and it doesn't work. So we have to start with being. You are a human being. You're not having to do anything to be human. You're just a human being. So it's coming to a recognition, like you said, that this is what I am.
I found out that what was supposedly to come to me and you as a gift, I found out that the gift was who we had been all the time.
Oh, you made me think of something that, and my sister can relate to this. The last Mother's Day we had with my mom when she was at home, because she died with Alzheimer's. and you've heard me talk about it before, but Mom had gotten to the place where she didn't recognize a lot of things, but we went to see her. Renee and I and some of the other grandkids went to see her on Mother's Day and take her a bunch of gifts. And when we got there, she was, actually she was elated because we got there. She was just excited because we were there. We started lavishing her with all of these gifts and things, and she just threw the gifts on the bed and put them down, and we kind of got offended a little bit, like she didn't pay my gift any attention, And we ended, and at the end she said to us, after she threw all that stuff on the bed, she said, "You're my gift. You're my gift." And that hit my heart. It hit my heart. She wasn't looking at the things we brought her. She looked at us. We were the gifts.
Isn't that something?
She recognized that. A woman with Alzheimer's recognized who the gift is.
Now, that's something. Now, I got in my note here, I wrote something. Your true self. No need to worry. You can't be kicked out anymore.
Yes.
I don't care what your mind say, what your feelings are. Sickness can't kick you out. I remember when, way back there, before Mac and Brenda Timberlake had their crisis with Brother Mac down in Creedmoor, he crossed over. Mac was going through a real serious problem with his throat cancer. And I was up in this end of North Carolina, and they're having trouble with a real bad flu symptom. And I asked my inner self, how long is this thing going to go on like this? And my inner self said, 3 days. And he said, in 3 days it'll be over. But he said, you're going to meet Mac and Brenda Timberlake. I was thinking I was going to get a chance to go down there and preach. But it wasn't that. After I got over this, we were in the airport, catching the plane, going on another speaking engagement. And I looked around.
Yeah. Actually, I was going to Florida, and you were seeing me off.
Yeah. And went to the airport, and there, sitting in front of us, was Mac and Brenda Timberlake. I had a chance to meet them before he died. Now, sweetheart, what I'm telling you tonight, this evening, the more you focus your attention on awareness of this wonderful, wonderful being that you are, as the son, the daughter, and the father, absolutely culminated in these physical bodies, as the wholeness of God. Your infinite self is waiting for your awareness, full awareness, attention. Come on out of the wilderness of the temptation of your altered self. Come on out of the wilderness of your birth certificate. Come on out of the wilderness. They always ask at the drugstore, what's your date of birth? You give that to them in the awareness that that's what they have to have in this dimension. But you never lose the taste, the smell, or the unction of your true identity as your God self. You don't have to walk around with your head up in the air. You know, some people like to walk around with their head in the ground and their hind end hanging out.
Ostrich syndrome.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. Listen, you are so elegantly designed. You are so magnificently, beyond Quaker Oats. Absolutely. Shake it and bake it. You are absolutely awesome, beyond description.
One of the things that Dr. Hawkins experienced when he had his enlightened experience, he ended up going and staying in a log cabin, I think, for a long time, and didn't want to have anything else to do with society because he saw that this was all an elusive dream. And he no longer wanted to be a part of it. He wasn't a part of it. And he was very content just being by himself. And so anyway, they had to actually coax him to come out of that and come back into the world in order to teach. And it says here in the book about him, it says he had to actually resume his personal consciousness. he had to take it back on
Mm-hmm.
in order to fulfill the commitments to teach others.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He had to take his own personal consciousness back on, the consciousness of being David.
Mm-hmm.
He had to
Mm-hmm.
take that back on in order to go back into the world to teach.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, he could have just left it all alone.
God set himself up by being us. And then he come around and found out and said, oh, you me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm you.
Mm-hmm.
He act like he was surprised to see himself as us and had a conniption and looked back at himself and say, I knew it all the time.
Renee says this. I like her comment. She says, personal self is the one trying to be like Jesus, to love, to be free. I am everything without doing that.
That's the truth, girl.
That's the truth.
And that'll bake your cake.
And that
Okay.
realization is what takes you through every crisis. That realization is what takes you through every challenge, knowing that you are already that. And it's not coming from any feeling, any supernatural feeling, or there's no vision, no voice speaking to you. It's just a knowing, an absolute knowing.
You have what is called an eternal life warranty. Yes, a service plan that's built into you. In this service plan, you automatically have an oil change. Your points and plugs are automatically changed. All you have to do is just ride and drive. But it'll seem like, and you know what's so strange about it? You can get this thing serviced in the dark, in the night. When the worst thing comes about, seems like everything happened, your automobile is being serviced. The servicing process is really, how can you tell when you've been serviced? When it seems like all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
God's working on something. Oh, it's almost like I want to find some music. I want to find something to help me want to shout and praise God because, my car's in the shop and I don't have to pay nothing for it. It's so easy. You don't even have to tell nobody. I want my points and plug change, rotate my tires, check my brakes, make sure my emergency brake is tight enough. I don't want you to change the fluid in my transmission.
I love your analogies, but you do know when they say something about being serviced, they have another meaning to that than what you're talking about. I'm not going into
Oh, Lord have mercy. I don't mean sex. I don't mean that. I don't mean sex and marriage and all that stuff. I don't mean that. But that would be that's a good service. You know, yeah, since she's been nasty, she got something on her mind. She's in her, that ain't no low mind. That's a good mind. Hey, when anyone talks about Jesus now, in the core of your essence, you can hear him talking to you.
Yes.
In the core of your essence, when anything about Jesus is mentioned, you can sense it deep, and it's not that deep. Pretty soon, the small, still voice that seems like it's way off at a distance is neither even on the surface of consciousness. And it comes to the forefront of your awareness.
So, Pastor, let me ask you this. Are we supposed to confront our fears, confront our anger, confront our hopelessness? Are we supposed to look at it and not run from those things?
Okay. Here's the key to that. The awareness self of your Christ identity is, when you say confront, is already, I'm going to say it like this.
Okay.
Your Christ self is the confronted.
The confronter?
Is the confronter. It's the confronter.
Okay.
The idea that you are confronted as an independent agent is another trick of the filtering system. It's another trick of the ego.
Yes, sir.
You are not the one. You are the confronter.
So you're actually saying that we should remain in rest.
In other words, what I'm saying is the confronter is not threatened by that that's appearing appearing to be confronted.
So, and that means we should stay in rest. We should remain in rest.
And you don't have to worry about staying in rest because you are the rest. You just finding out. You're finding out. Something is finding out that you don't have to struggle trying to be in rest.
Right, and that's what I mean when I say remain in rest. That I'm saying that there's no need for us to start to take action every time something comes up. We should let it just sit for a moment. Just let it sit let it work for a little bit, and then trust that the wisdom to deal with it will arise.
Pearline Lucas.
Yeah, Pearl.
Yeah, Pearline, Miss Pearl, you're right. Watching the scene, but now you have to apply this in the sense of even though it's automatic, you have to apply the automation. The mechanism, the automation is ordered. You have to be aware of the automatic system.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a progression. It's a progression in the sense that once you have this knowing, you still have to put in practice remaining as the observer. So that when things are presented to you, or different moods and fears or angers or whatever are presented to you, you can get some distance between them and find out who the sufferer is.
And it's kind of like. When I met my wife, I never stopped meeting her.
Okay.
It's one big meeting, but I keep meeting the refresher. There's a refresher course that is 24/7. So I keep that refresher course deliberately so that the marriage don't get stale.
Okay.
I do that, but I'm using. See, when I apply the refresher course, what is already there stays stirred. I don't have to put something there all the time. It's there, and I'm aware of the substance.
Yeah.
It's like a never depleted energy. It's a never depleted identity. It never runs dry. I don't have to keep going to the service station filling up. What makes me aware? The awareness of this is that it is an infinite supply. The infinite supply is aware of itself. I can't put these words together, but I'm trying.
You're trying.
It's a part of us. God is so much us that it's hard for the rose to talk about itself. Now, you are that. And have always been this, that is that. Are you guys catching it out there? Give us a hand up if you're catching this. Throw your hand up. Throw it up there on the screen here.
Well, it's fortunate that we live in a world of contrast. So if there is any changes needed, and again, not so much to change the person, but to free us from the person, that personal self, that personal feeling of that I believe that I am. Life is set up to bring you to a point of wanting to get out of that. And actually in every crisis or problem that comes up, it's an opportunity for the real you to emerge. Because the little you can't handle it. It cannot handle the crisis. So it's an opportunity, and it's actually pressure being on the little self to move out of the way.
We are picking up what you're putting down. All right. You know what? You guys ever look at the Anheuser-Busch Budweiser commercial with
the big Clydesdale?
The big Clydesdale horses.
Clydesdale.
Oh, they are so graceful. My dog here, a baby girl, is a poodle labradoodle mix, and when she walks just like a Clydesdale horse. She stepped with she's what you call sure-footed. And there is a place. I'm gonna tell you something. I used to think a Christian walked around with such sincereness that he didn't joke, didn't have fun. One of the most amazing things about waking up to your true identity is lighthearted, fun, and freedom and expression.
We laugh more than we ever have.
Shucks, yeah.
And especially at ourselves.
Yeah.
And if you can laugh at yourself, you're not stuck by yourself.
In the river of God that you are, you flow constantly from the throne of your essence inside of your eternal self every day, every night. And when you go to when your mind goes into that hypnagogic state at sleep at night, you really have a ball, because you get a chance to take a vacation from your monkey mind, your personal self.
Yes, sir.
Thank God for the vacation.
I know.
Okay.
Some people think they need a vacation from where they live, but our vacation has been to remove ourselves from being that person. That's been a vacation for us, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It really has. So there's not a lot of pull to go somewhere to experience something different, to experience something new. Oh, exciting! With that isn't there.
You will eventually learn to pull from the inner fire. The inner fire. When Peter, after Jesus was crucified and buried, Peter went around a campfire in the scriptures, and a little girl was around the campfire, and she recognized who Peter was. And I've read that so many times, and I noticed that around a fire, there's a fire that is kindled in your heart, the burning, flaming fire. That fire is so hot, it purges you 24/7. That hot fire that burns, and in the presence of your essence, true identity, is 24/7 burns. But you know what? When I get around doctors and people in places I go, that fire look like it gets hot. But it doesn't make me want to tell people about Jesus, but it makes me want to look at them and talk to them from my essence awareness. Like I want to say, I pass people out on the street when I'm walking, I say, "Good morning. How you doing? Have a good day." You know, it's oh shucks, y'all, it's ain't nothing like it. Okay, you are now the function of the gifts of the Spirit. You are them. You don't have to get them, but you need to be aware of how they work through you. You need to be aware of them because they are intermixed and woven into the fabric of your being. You hear something, know something, see something, taste something, and all these functions of the 9, it's more than 9 of them. It's a bunch of abilities.
There's some undiscovered.
Yeah, undiscovered country.
Oliver says the best vacation he ever takes is the vacation from the egocentric self.
Oh, tell me
Amen.
about
Because it's
it.
the ego that drives us with all these urges. And then Renee said, I noticed when I try to get rid of something that causes more suffering, it causes more suffering, she says, because I'm giving attention to it. And that is true. That is so true.
Okay, I see Miss Jill talking about the disappearance of the universe. I've read that at one of the first books I've read all the way through from the beginning to end. There are some things that gets my attention. I want to thank you guys again for staying with us. We've been investigating again into the purpose of getting back into the building again.
Yeah, I have. Not.
I have. I've been wondering about it. I don't know the way this pandemic thing has been going on. I would love to see some of you guys face to face physically.
Which brings me to this. We have discussed potentially setting up something to have one-to-one ministry with you guys, maybe a one-to-one Zoom. We schedule it and have those times to do that with you guys, one-on-one, on a one-on-one basis. And of course, we'd have to set it all up. But that's something we discussed today.
Yeah, and we take each one of you at one at a time and have a Zoom with you.
Sometimes you still need some personal touch.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. That sounds like a doctor visit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Personal house to house visit.
Yeah. So we do want to do that. I think we've discussed that today.
I feel that. I feel good. I feel good about that. Yeah.
Because Pastor had a dream about,
I did.
or an epiphany about having a drive-by prayer.
I did.
But we can't do that. It's too hot for that, and don't everybody want to ride and all that. But we do think that doing maybe a one-on-one.
What I saw was like you go by McDonald's and places like that, and we had a drive-through window, and I saw you guys come through the window, and I said, "What you need prayer for today?" And you come by. And I gave you a present, like we give you a hamburger at the window.
So the Zoom or the Duo can be our drive-by. And so we're considering.
Oh, you like that, Michelle?
Michelle
okay.
likes that idea. We did that with Michelle, as a matter of fact.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yes. And yes, Tanya, even to Texas.
Yeah.
So we're considering doing that, and we will, of course, announce it. But if Oliver doesn't have your email, we won't be able to do it. So make sure you give him your email. So, and even your phone number if you choose to, because some people can use Duo, some people can use Zoom. So if you do that, and we will make sure that we set it up and get that going for you guys. I think that would be really good for us as well as for some of you.
Yeah, and I get a chance to talk to you about some things that I see and
And
minister
you,
to you.
us, you to us.
And I get a chance to see you. I'll lay hands on you through this screen here and just touch you and shake hands with you. You know, just how you doing? Good to see you. Oh yeah. Wear your I'm gonna wear your head slick and shiny. Lay my hands on you.
Yeah,
But it's,
So we're considering that, and I'm glad you. Yes, I'm
Absolutely.
glad you guys are telling us that you would like to do that.
Miss Kelly,
so make sure
yeah.
you give Oliver your email, and if he doesn't have it already, if he doesn't have it already, make sure you give him your email, and that's oliverbluetruly@live.com. I think I said that right, Oliver. He just wrote it down. Yeah, thank you. And I also want you to like and share these videos. And of course, some people aren't. Yeah, some people are not available at these live times, so we've even considered maybe doing some different time frames. Those of you who've been with us for years always do Sunday and Tuesday, but we may do some different time frames so that other people can be included for the lives, because the interaction is what's good. The interaction is what's really fun, and you learn so much more when you can interact. Also, I want you to go to YouTube, because I'm going to post this video on YouTube, upload it to YouTube, and it will only stay on this Facebook screen for 1 week, and then I move it to YouTube, and there are other YouTube videos there, and while you're there, subscribe to our channel.
Miss Joan asked where you send information. We'll just stay online with us as we go.
No, I just said to them.
Oh.
You send the information, send your email to Oliver Blue Truly at live.com, and he will make sure I get your email. And what I will do is I will send out an email telling you when we're going to do it.
Okay.
And then we can set it up, because we'll have to schedule it. There's no way we can just do it haphazard. So it'll have to be a schedule, and that's how we will do that. Okay?
Yeah, but in the meantime, stay with us, and we'll come every Sunday morning at 10 and 7 on Tuesday night, and all the other time we sit here, and we're going to try to keep this thing going as long as we can. Okay?
So, and also, Oliver's asked you guys to do this before, to make sure you write down your questions that you want addressed, and he will make sure we get those. And I haven't gotten any yet. Maybe Oliver's accumulating them, but we do still want that. So we have a Zoom coming up on Thursday, and that's on the 20th. That's the 20th at 7 o'clock. You want to be in that Zoom, give Oliver your email. That's oliverbluetruly@live.com. So make sure you do that, and that way you'll still be included.
Michelle
Michelle says she wants to come and meet us both. I do too.
Oh yeah.
Maybe next year we can do that, Michelle. That would be wonderful.
Yeah. It'll be great.
That would be wonderful, sweetheart.
When we started off young, we used to travel a lot and physically move around. But maybe we can get into one of them Star Trek things and beam in and beam out. That'll be good.
Yes.
Thank you so much for responding to our message, and we want you guys have helped us out so much. You supported us financially, as well as your presence online. You've helped us out so much. I want you guys to stay in touch with us through our program here and through our set. And every morning when I get up, I take you with me in my heart. I wanted to talk, we'll talk maybe next time about the apostles and all of the saints in the Bible and around us that is ever in our heart. When Jesus said, "He that seen me has seen the Father," he didn't just say the Father. Inside of our hearts are all of the disciples, all 12 manifestations of the disciples is also in our hearts.
Yes,
we'll talk about
yes,
that next
sir.
time.
That would be great.
Yeah, we'll talk about everything.
So we've got some ideas coming, some things I want to get put out there that you guys can benefit from, and we'll be letting you guys know exactly what we're going to be doing, and probably within the next couple of weeks, working on some things. But again, if you feel like you've been blessed by this, make sure you give. And Jill has put on there how to text and give. I don't personally use the text, but you can use that. It's very simple, but I haven't used that. I've always gone to our website, which is thecornerstonelifecenter.com, and there's a donate button on there. You can just hit that button and it takes you right to it. or on this Facebook page, the Use App button. You can go to that and click on it. It will take you directly to the place where where it will go directly into Cornerstone. And of course, if you love Pastor Nine, you want to give to us,
Please
just
do.
use Cash App. That's $A Sawyer C. So we love you guys so much. We're looking forward to spending some more time with you.
Yeah, Carol, you touched my heart. I would like to see all of you in person.
Mm-hmm. So until that time, we'll have to make do with what we have. And we love you so much. We'll see you again on Sunday at 10 o'clock. So bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you then.
Bye-bye.